Arsenal reeling. Everton broke them. They're minus 125 on the road at Villa Park. Aston Villa is plus 320. The draw is plus 250. It feels this is kind of a fun betting exercise, right? Like there's so much talk about in all sports, situational spots. Is this a letdown spot for Arsenal? Or could you flip it the other way and just say, no, this is a get right spot for Arsenal? They lose to Everton. They draw Brentford. They lose to City. Title race is now flipped where City is now the favorite. They go to Villa Park. Villa's, no pushovers, 3-1 and 3 since the World Cup, a -2 goal differential, but a -6 expected goal differential in that span. So haven't been playing the lights out. So is this one where Arsenal are able to just pick themselves up? This is a young team. This is the first little bout of adversity they've dealt with. They're on short rest. BJ, I got nothing here from a betting standpoint. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on let down or get right.
It's over.
Well, it's two-parter, Michael. Like I think it's a little bit of both, honestly, because okay, yeah, I thought Arsenal played pretty well in the first half today. Like, what's troublesome is like, yeah, you can play really good, but then if you just make two dumb defensive mistakes, then that just costs you a game. And City is a team that pounces on defensive mistakes, and they're also a team that just doesn't make them. So, it is what it is. The margins are so fine when you're playing against big six clubs. So it is what it is. The title race, I'm not feeling very good right now. I'll just say that. But not having Thomas Partey obviously is huge for Arsenal. Their ability to defend in transition. This matchup against Aston Villa is also scary. I thought Jorginho had a good first half against Man City. If you look at his numbers, it was, he led everybody on the pitch in interceptions. He had a lot of successful passes. It wasn't a horrible performance from him, but my question is the Aston Villa defense bad now? Because we're going on the last 4 matches now where they've conceded over 2 to Leeds. They conceded over 2.5 to Leicester. And then they just conceded over 3.5 to Manchester City. And I'm starting not to question Unai Emery, but, game state obviously matters with a lot of these because, like for example, the Manchester City match, they conceded in the 4th minute off a set piece. So obviously the game has to open up and they can't just sit deep anymore. But I don't think I can get behind Arsenal without Thomas Partey, especially in a matchup where you're going to have to be able to defend in transition. And Aston Villa is obviously very formidable in transition and have been very good offensively under Unai Emery. So I'm passing. I do have Arsenal projected at -166. So I do have some value on them. That's obviously before accounting for the loss of Thomas Partey. But yeah, it's a bad run for Arsenal. It's a bad spot, yes, but it's not like they have a Europa League or a Champions League match waiting on the other end, right? They have a full week off. So that's where I'm like, it could be a very good get right spot. And I'm pretty sure last year they had a very similar spot like this where they went to Aston Villa and they beat them 1-0 after playing one of the big six clubs. So I am passing on this one. I do project some value on Arsenal, but again, on short rest, it's very, very hard to get behind them without Thomas Partey.
All right. It's fair enough, BJ. Very, very measured approach for someone who's
the title race isn't over. I'm not feeling great, but I'm not.
No, I know.
Like,
United could
United
could definitely catch City, I think.
I know. I was going to come on here and say congrats to Luckbox United for winning the title.
BJ will have to probably quit if you.
I will. No, I will quit the podcast.
That's fine. We got we've been warming Eric Winaldo up in the bullpen for a few weeks, so it'll be a seamless transition.
Yep.
Maybe we'll
last year Liverpool
call Fabrizio.
They lost 2-0 to Liverpool in the midweek in March.
Yep, that was that was the one I was thinking of.
They beat Villa 1-0 at the weekend. I think it's kind of similar. It is an early kick.
Similar.
Early kick, man. Those early road kicks are much tougher than you normally think.
They're not fair.
I think it sets up well for an under. Arsenal's defense struggled again today. They have definitely fallen off a bit defensively. But I think I'm not as worried about the Aston Villa defense. I think it's fine. You look at some of the underlying numbers, they're still top 10 in most defensive categories. XG allowed is not one of them anymore, but all the other underlying process stuff is good. They've allowed the second most goals from set pieces, though. That is scary. Arsenal number 1 in XG per set piece this season. So that's the one thing. It's kind of scary. I do lean toward the under here. I have a little bit of value on it. And if I had to bet it, that's what I would take, the under 2.5. But yeah, I make the money line right around the number. If it got to 1, like minus 170, and I can get a Villa +1, sign me up, because it would be a really tough and impressive road win to go win by 2. But yeah, I probably end up passing here.